In Chapter 10, we'll take a look at the UART capabilities of the microcontroller. Rather than try to make an RS-232 connection to your laptop, which likely doesn't have such a connection, we'll use a virtual COM port. On the connected LaunchPad, the UART is connected to the emulator, which then communicates over the USB connection to your PC. The TM4C1294NC PDT includes 8 UART ports. Each of these ports features separate 16 by 8-bit transmit and receive FIFOs, a programmable baud rate generator, automatic generation and removal of the start, stop, and parity bits, line break generation and detection, a choice of 5 to 8 data bits, multiple parity types, and 1 or 2 stop bits, modem and flow control, IRDA and EIA 495 9-bit protocols, DMA support with separate transmit and receive channels. Note the 2 external pins shown on the right. Tiva C-series pins are highly multiplexed with other functions. Also note that the transmit and receive FIFOs are integral to the module itself. The basic steps for initializing the UART are as follows. Enable the UART peripheral. Configure the transmit and receive pins for the UART function. Configure the baud rate and data setup of the UART. Configure any other UART features like interrupt generation and FIFO usage. Now the port is ready to send and receive characters. In this UART design, a single data register is used for both the transmit and receive functions. The peripheral driver library supports both blocking and non-blocking APIs for writing and reading the data register. Each UART module can provide an interrupt to the CPU. Since this is a single source interrupt, it will be cleared automatically. Conditions under which an interrupt can be generated are an overrun error, a break error, an incorrect parity, a framing error, a receive timeout when the FIFO is not empty and no data is received during 32-bit times, when a transmit is attempted and no data is present to be transmitted, when a character is received. Interrupts on all these conditions can be enabled individually. Since these conditions are ORed into a single interrupt to the CPU, the handler code must check to determine which of these conditions triggered the interrupt and clear the appropriate flags. Both the transmit and receive FIFOs are accessed through the UART data register. While the datasheet indicates that the UART FIFOs are disabled at reset, basic configuration of the UART module re-enables this feature by default. They can easily be disabled if desired. Trigger points for the generation of UART interrupts can be set at the 1/8, 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, 7/8, and full points. TivaWare's UART library includes standard I/O console functions for initialization, printf, get, flushing the FIFOs, and others. To use the functions, you should use the interrupt handler provided in UART stdio.c. Lab 10 experiments with the UART module. On the LaunchPad, the UART port is connected to the emulation hardware, which then connects through the USB port to your PC. On the PC, the UART connection will appear as a virtual COM port. The lab will initialize the UART and use polling and interrupts to echo characters.